Hi everyone and welcome, my name is Dora and this is my 10th update to Pan That Palette and BYOP Build Your Own Palette. I've got a really exciting update today. I think it's the best update that I've had this year. I'm not done yet, but there's really good progress. I'm really excited to share that with you for both my Pan That Palette and my BYOP. Let's just get into it. Actually, quickly, just please make sure you check out my description box below. I've linked to Amber F, who's the godmother of Pan That Palette. Amber has created this project, so she's linked down below. At my last update, I forgot to tell you the weight. So I'm going to kick off with that first, and then I'm going to show you the entire slideshow from my Pan That Palette Barry M Black Cherry. So this weighed 94.37 grams in the intro. At my last update, it weighed 85.11 grams, and today it's down to 83.97, which means I've used up 1.14 grams since my last update, and that's also 10.4 grams less than I've had in the intro. Interesting, because I wasn't quite sure in the intro how big these pans are. This is a 9-pan palette. 1.5 grams is advertised per shadow, which would make it a total of 13.5 grams for this palette. But of course, I've had a little bit of use on here already before I started. But then we also thought that maybe because the shadows seem so shallow, that maybe it could be a mistake. And elsewhere they've been advertised as 1 gram per shadow, which would bring the total up to 9 grams. But I've definitely surpassed that. And like I said, it's not done yet. So I do wonder whether I have another 3.1 grams roughly left in here. We shall see by the finale, because hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be done by then. I'm obviously going to finish this palette regardless of what date it is, but hopefully still within 2025. Right, so now you're seeing a picture of what this palette was looking like last month. And I've made some changes. I've done tiny little cheeky frankening. I really wanted a deeper shadow to deepen out my outer corners, and I did some frankening involving the shadows in here, but I also added in Urban Decay. I think it's called The Artist. I'm going to include that here. The blackest, slightly shimmery, charcoaly type of shadow here to create this new franken shadow that I've put in the place of Wild. And here is what my palette is looking like today. So, okay, in terms of goals last time, my focus was to work on Bakewell here. This actually was a franken between Bakewell and Cherry Tart. So now I've officially finished 2 shadows, even though Cherry Tart was already empty before. Yeah, that took me a total of 142 uses on this shadow here, and if I add that to Cherry Tart, 96 uses, then that brings me to an average of 118 uses in these shadows in order to finish them. I only needed to use this another 23 times in order to finish it. I'm going to show you a look of how I use this mainly. I think I've got 2 even. So in this first look, I am wearing Bakewell all over my lid on top of the Nude Sticks Eye Crayon in Terra, so it's a terracotta type of colour. Actually, I'm wearing that under my eye look today as well. And then I've got Bitter, the darkest shade in the outer corner, and Poison as well, so I've been mixing them together. And then I've got a shadow from my BYOP on there as a topper shadow as well. And then the second look that you're seeing now, this is the look that I've been panning in order to finish Bakewell. So that Franken Perfect Pearl by e.l.f. as a shadow stick underneath. It's a very shimmery, pearlescent type of cream eyeshadow. Bakewell, well, Cherry Tart and Bakewell Franken on top, all over my lids. And then a BYOP shadow from my Revolution Chilled palette, Exhale, all over as well, and that just sort of lightens it up a little bit. And then I've got Poison, so the plum matte shadow in the outer corner, and then Urban Decay Crystal Ball in a corner highlight. So that was a look that I've been wearing a lot in order to finish Bakewell. Let's come back to the palette. So in terms of Wild, the new Wild, I have used this 30 times. So this is a franken of Bitter, Poison, and that black charcoal shadow from Urban Decay all mixed in together. Juiced, I've only used 3 times, my least used shadow in here. And I'm at a total of 80 uses on the shadow now. I am still working on another very similar hot pink matte shadow for my Pan That palette in order, and I'm just not there yet. I've really been trying to focus on here, so, but not the pink one. Yeah, one day, very soon. I think I'm about halfway through-ish to hitting pan on the other shadow. Once that's done, I will dip into Juiced a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be the last one standing. No surprises there. Okay, moving on to Bitter. I have repressed this a couple of times now, I think. And I've used this 23 times as well, so the same amount as Bakewell since my last update. I'm now at a total of 105 uses, and there's still a tiny little bit left. I'm wearing this all over my lids today, although I've got a Franken shimmer from my BYOP all over my lid as well afterwards, but just sort of as like a lid setting type of shadow. I've been using it that way, really been enjoying these sort of more grungy looks. It's the season for it, I enjoy it anyway. And I would say I've probably got another 2 uses in here, and then I'm probably going to be done. So not for this update, but that means there'll be an empty next time. And Poison, finally, I have used 20 times. This one I also repressed in between updates. So the pan is definitely bigger, and there's corner pan and side pan, but it's also a lot flatter. So what you're seeing there, there's just not that much. I would say it's about the same amount as I've got left in Wild as well. 20 uses, and that's a total of 105 uses. I'm confident I can have one more empty for next time. Hopefully, I'm gonna try and work on Poison as well. Yeah, Bitter, first priority, second priority Poison, and then obviously work on the other 2 as well. Wild is gonna be a lot easier because it's just matches with just about anything in the outer corner. I find it really good. I'm glad I did that franken actually, even though initially I was a bit like, should I have done it? Like, I added shadow in here, you know. And then yeah, I think Juiced is the focus for my next update after that. Okay, let's move on to the BYOP then. Now, because my Pan That palette is an all matte palette now, I've finished all the shimmers, this BYOP has been coming in so handy when it comes to me wanting to create looks that I can pan. And for the first time ever this year, I've actually got new pans to show you in here. So here is my BYOP today. I already had this pan, and there was pan showing in this Franken bronzer here too. But I've hit pan in the Kiko single that I've been using as a blush or blush topper, and I hit 2 pans here as well. The brown one is a Franken, and the shimmery one is the Revolution shadow that I wore in that look that I showed you earlier as a topper shadow. And this is from Revolution Chilled Exhale. I just depotted it and popped it in here, and it is just such a favorite. I think I swapped it out last month to bring it in here. And yeah, it's just really been so helpful in lightening, brightening up the matte looks, especially when I've got Bitter or Poison all over my lid, to just put that on top, and then something else in the outer corner. Well, the new Franken Wild now. Super good go-to look. And the look I've got today is with this shadow here. So I already told you, Bitter all over my lid on top of Terra by Nude Sticks, and then this shimmer on top all over my lids as well, and then Wild in the outer corner, and that's it. Super easy look for me, and yeah, I wore that 16 times this past month. Let's go through the uses one by one actually. So these two square pans here are Natasha Denona Ayana shadows that I got from Ruth, and the top one I used twice. This one I didn't use, and then the green one I did not use. I've been meaning to try and use it at least once just to see, has the repress really worked? This is Candyland by Revolution Chilled, and yeah, I'm gonna kick this one out now. I'll refresh this palette once I've gone through the shadows. It's just not happening right now. The green, at least this type of green, is not working out because I'm really just so trying to finish my that palette. I did a little swap out here and added this shadow in, and I believe this is, it's just a Franken that I did this summer, and I only used it once. I'm gonna kick that one out again and try something green again, because you know, Christmas season is happening soon and I would like to wear a green look. And also, when I was repressing the Chilled palette, the Revolution Chilled palette, it was, some of the swatches I noticed were staining my hand. So I'd like to give it a go. How does that translate onto my eyes? If staining is a real issue, then I'd rather discard those shadows and use the pans in order to put something else in there. So I'm going to bring these two green ones in from the Chilled palette. The shimmery one is called Mist, and the matte one, actually it's more like a satin, is called Natural. The goal is to use them once. These two are Frankens, and they are from my that palette from last year and the previous year, Revolution Kombucha Kiss. Actually, this one contains other shadows as well from different palettes. 2 times I've been using this in the past month. It's gonna stay in here, I really enjoy it. And this shadow I've got on my eyebrows today, and I've done that 20 times since my last update. Staying in. Inner corner highlight shadow, Revolution Chilled Calm. Haven't hit pan yet, but I've got 11 uses there and a nice dip forming. Maybe I'll have pan next time. And this one is just shadow number 6 from the Revolution Chilled palette, another depotted one. 2 uses on here. This is a Franken Bare Minerals and Sisley bronzer blush. I have got 31 uses on here since my last update. I'm going to insert the total and the weight difference down here. And then let's move on to the Kiko, because these 2 shadows are the only ones that have been in here since the intro of this project. The Kiko, 32 uses, and again, weight difference and total amount of uses here as well. Bear in mind that I repressed this into a different pan a few updates ago, so I can't really give you a weight comparison from the intro because I forgot to weigh the empty pan. In terms of the bottom row, I'm gonna do one switch out. I'm just gonna give you quick numbers, but I'll let you know on what I'm switching out in a moment. I only used these 2 shadows here and I didn't use the other 3. I've got 2 uses on the lilac. Again, that worked really well as a topper shadow with Poison all over my lid, the plum matte shadow, and 16 uses on this shadow here. And this one is, I think I said that already, Exhale, isn't it? Yes. Okay, I think I'm gonna take this one out. This one or this one of those 2. I'm not quite decided yet. Okay. As for this row here, so these 5, I'm going to do a switch out. These are the shadows that I'm putting in here every month, new ones, in order to test them out and then decide would I like to hold on to them or do I want to scrape them out and use the pan for a nicer shadow, for depotting some palettes perhaps that I would still like to declutter, but where I would like to hold on to some special shadows. Yeah. Right, this one is a Franken Revolution Kombucha Kiss, all the leftovers as well as some other shadows. I wasn't quite sure last time whether I liked it or not, so I wanted to spend 1 more month with it, and I've decided I like to keep it for now. This brown one obviously is a total love. I've used this 16 times as well. So same amount as the bottom one. Nice big pan showing, and I'm loving it. And this is the switch out I'd like to do. So I'd like to bring this one into my permanent row down here. The center shadow I only used once, but it's also a love. This purple shadow, I used it once on my outer corner. It's also a love, at least for now. And then this shadow I've used once and I did not like the formula on here. So this is a discard. Right, let me take those all out and let me put my new shadows in. So the first one is the Kiko, the pink original pan that I depotted. And it's this shadow here, and I'm probably not going to hold on to this one, but I'd like to just give it a chance, you know. So it's a very muddy, slightly shimmery, greenish brown. Okay. There it is, and I'm just gonna pop that in the corner. Next up, I've got a bronzy franken. This was already in this project, but I just want to use it again and give it a proper verdict. So here's a swatch of this. That's very beautiful actually, and it swatches very, very nicely. And then next I've got a sort of satin-like with, you know, specks of gold shimmer type of rusty color. And here's a swatch of it. Yeah. I don't think I'm too attached to these types of colours. They're great for blush, but do I really need a franken blush when it's taking me more than 2 years to work through this one? Probably not. I sort of wanted to select shadows where I'm quite sure that they might be discards, apart from this bronzy one that I quite like. But yeah, we'll see. I might decide to keep them all. And this is a franken sort of purpley one, again with a shimmer. I like the formula on here. It's quite soft, but it's also got quite a bit of a black base on it. And then the final shadow is another sort of taupey brown shimmer, and this is even softer. It's this one here. Okay, right, so up until now, here's what my new BYOP looks like, but then I would like to make a swap with either of these. I suppose it doesn't really matter, does it? I'm gonna take out the one on the edge. Here's my new BYOP for the month of November and maybe into December a little bit as well. Actually, I should probably try and do an update for the 1st of December if I can manage. And then, oh, maybe not, because I know I definitely want to post my 3-year anniversary No by Project Pan update on the 30th of November. I did that last year as well. If I can get that one out a little bit sooner, it's going to be a big one, akin to like an inventory type of video, then my Pan palette and BYOP update could go up on the 1st. We'll see. But I think it would be good to do slightly less than a month, because obviously the finale ideally should be by the 31st of December or the 1st of January, if I'm doing like an intro with my new Pan palette. But yeah, I'm very excited about this. So the goals are to use everything here from this row at least once and then make a decision, is it a love or a discard? And same goes for these the 2 green Revolution shadows too. So 7 shadows in here that I have to use at least once. Everything else I can do what I like, and that's how I enjoy it. Yeah, thank you so much for watching all the way until the end. I really hope you'll subscribe if you haven't done so already, and other than that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care, bye.